Hello everyone, Dan14 Prime here. Want to do a video share out today with a new addition to the Prime Empire, the XM Studios Optimus Prime. If you follow the channel, you know I picked up the Bumblebee, and as XM continues to release these statues and go with the line, I'm all in. I'm POing them all, so I had to go back and pick up the few I'm missing from the beginning. And of course, it all starts here with this iconic Optimus Prime statue that you can more easily find available in some parts of Asia, even still, though shipping him in these current times will be very expensive. In addition to what you just saw put together, he comes with these additional swap out pieces. So let's just jump into this. This is going to be a bit of a video share out. Just want to walk you around this piece. It's a beautiful piece. XM really takes a contemporary take on the characters. Maybe you could say slightly stylized, but certainly not heavy. So still a lot of good G1 inspiration comes through these pieces, which I love. And it's just very, very mechanical and contemporary, and of course beautifully done by XM as always. There he's got his big iconic blaster. You can see all the great paintwork, all weathered down nicely. The head sculpts, which for me and XM in this line, it's where they start to get a bit more stylized. But I think Prime, it matters less because of the big face mask. There he's got the big iconic Matrix chamber. It's okay. It doesn't necessarily look like the one you might recognize from G1. But it's a cool feature nonetheless, and lots of light ups on this guy that I won't get into. The chest, the eyes, the jetpack, I believe. Just didn't worry about putting all those batteries in. Here's around back of the figure. Again, just beautiful. Fair amount of pieces and putting this guy together as well. If you check me out on Instagram, same handle Dan14 Prime, you'll see a unboxing and just taking all these pieces out of the box. So really beautiful, great work here. Surprised they left the tanks there that we just saw as large as they did. I could have done with those being a bit smaller. What he really needs to make this pose combination work is a right arm that doesn't have the gun shooting off or up into the distance. And the base here, beautiful. Heavy as hell. Just really heavy base. Nice Cybertronian kind of effect. I could do without this like seeker parts or whatever it is that shoots straight up there on the left hand side that we'll get to in a minute right there. I don't really get that, but I do love around back where we're going there, this sort of seeker engine part. It's got the Decepticon logo on it. That I do love. This taller piece, that's kind of strange to me, honestly. And let me just get you fully around back here. And you can see like layers to the base, almost like this molten rock sort of layer. And then you've got the more alien, Cybertronian look on top of that with these cables going everywhere. These seeker parts here that I mentioned, really, really cool. Don't display well, particularly from a front-end view. You just miss some of these things, but that is a beautiful accent piece on the base there that will go underappreciated in most display angles. Just to round it out here, I'll just pull you around the far right-hand side by his leg, and you've got the 360 view of it. So for me, the base mostly works. Again, I could do without this wing sticking up, but overall it's very cool. Let's take a closer look at this alt mode statue. Now this is so cool, just super G1, really well done. Looks a lot like the toy to me, but the colors all work. It's a good amount of detail, but you know, it's less stylized, right? It really does go for just a good old Optimus Prime truck, beautifully painted. You see nice detail, panels, lines, things like that, but all the classic accents. And this thing is heavy as hell. This thing is heavy. But even on the underside, like they spare no expense, skip no details. Everything's done. So let's move on here and let me show you some of the swap out parts. Here's the right hand is always in that gun, which I think is a miss. He needs some other options to that right hand. You get these smokestacks. There's 4 of them, one unique for each arm. And again, there's 4 sets of arms. We'll take this one out here. Now for me, one of my main complaints on this piece is this communication pose with the left arm and the head always looking down. It doesn't work with either of the right arm options, shooting up or shooting out into the distance. He needs a right arm that's just sort of more down by his side, and even holding the gun would still be cool. But being able to just put a relaxed hand in that right arm just seems like such an easy thing to do, and they didn't give us that. So I just think some of the swap out combinations weren't well thought through. So here you can see whether he's shooting at a distance, shooting up, when he's looking at that left arm, neither of those work for me. They both are just quite strange. And even if you put on the other head, then he's shooting out and has his arm randomly up. So it doesn't work well. And here I just don't understand why they don't make more interchangeability with the parts. You know, you can't even put this partially open hand into that arm. All right, next up here, let me show you some of the swap outs for the left arm. We'll get the hand off there. We'll get the communication screen off of there. Take the left arm off, and I'm just noticing here I've been forgetting to put on the unique tailpipes. Again, you get one of these for each arm. They're all uniquely color keyed, and they make a nice accent. So here, let's get this left arm in. Again, some of the poses are just so unnatural to me. Even when I try to fit the key, I'm like, oh, which way should it go? Because they are kind of strange. So here we've got the left arm on. And you can go with this open hand here. To me, this starts to look like a John Travolta dance pose more than an iconic Optimus Prime Transformers pose. Let's take off the left hand there. Of course, again, the pipes. Let's put in some of these great accent details. Put one out there. And again, this other arm I had forgotten as well. Matters less from the front view, but you can see it accent just a bit down there. And now we can put this axe as well into the left hand. And the axe looks good. I like how it's painted and detailed. My only complaint would be it only inserts in that one angle, and that angle is kind of flat to your front end view. So why not let that be posable in different ways so you can see it how you like. Of course, we can swap out the head here. I think anytime this gun is up, you need the look up head. And bam, there you go. That's one of the better poses. I prefer the hand on the left hand, but that's more iconic Optimus Prime to me, but still reminds me more of the Ultra Magnus 1986 movie poster type pose. Let's go in next here on this jetpack, which is a really cool accessory, very well done. Big, huge jetpack, which is, of course, iconic to the very early episodes of G1 when the Autobots would do some flying. I will say it's a little strange they invest so much around the back of the figure. Again, you won't see it a lot from most display angles unless you've really got it open for 360 or you've got mirrors or something like that in your display. But that goes on, and he's got just these two sort of fin accents that just provide a nice finishing touch. And again, I believe this would be battery equipped as well and sort of light up the jet engines if you like to do that. So let me just jump in on some of those details. It's super impressive. I mean, some of the best detailing work is in that jetpack on this piece. And here he is from the front. Again, you don't see much of that jetpack there. But there he is, Optimus Prime, XM Transformers, 39 inches tall with that gun up in the air. A couple good poses. Again, I don't think we get a truly iconic Optimus Prime pose here. That would be my main critique of this otherwise incredibly beautiful statue that nails everything else. Sculpt, paint, tons of details, tons of swap outs and switch outs, though part of that's the related to my criticism on the pose and configurations. So he's 30 inches when you bring the gun down more to eye level or above his eye level. Again, you can swap out a few looks on that left hand. I think if he's in a case, this is your best bet, but if you're out in open air, of course, you can use the full 39-inch height. And there, I've taken away the jetpack just so you can see it faded away. Not much of a big impact from the front. So there you have it, guys. Transformers XM Studios Optimus Prime. Beautiful statue. Showed you around, again, just sharing my thoughts on the piece. Overall, quite happy with it and really into this XM Transformers line. And as usual, XM does outstanding work on so many aspects and details in the piece. Again, my only criticism would be just wanting more of the iconic Optimus Prime pose. And they could have put a bit more just common sense into some of the swap outs and configurations and how all those could work together better. But certainly, overall, very happy with it. Looking forward to building out the collection, so stay tuned for that. Back on the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, same handle, Dan14Prime. And I will see you next time.